ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to round 9 of my Formula 1 2020 My Career Mode with Michael Schumacher. We're heading to Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix in this episode, and as Jeff has just shown us there on the old weather forecast, it is going to rain in the race. We're expecting a wet race, so let's get into this thing, shall we? Jump into practice 1, get the practice programs completed so we can get obviously the R&D points needed to develop some more upgrades for the car, which so far seem to be panning out very well for us based on our last couple of performances. Lovely Lance Stroll in his little tracing point. Of course, the big news today in real F1 is that Perez is leaving Racing Point this year, and Vettel is taking his seat. That's the breaking news coming out of Formula 1 today as I sit down to record this commentary. I did all my main practice programs. Look, ERS, fuel management, tyre management, track acclimatization. I tried to always do those 4 programs in P1, and then obviously save the race strategy and qualifying programs for P2, and then don't run at all in P3.
We're third. And with all the cars now over the line, let's see our top 3 again. Bottas, Schumacher and Max Verstappen. Sadly, it's time to say goodbye as free practice is over. However, we'll be back shortly for more Formula 1 action.
We certainly will, Crofty. We'll head into P2 after we've talked to Claire.
What's your take on it? Do you have any comments about this team?
Any comments about Tracing Point? Nah, no comments about Tracing Point.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
No. I don't recall scraping any walls.
Appreciate your time.
I did have one incident in practice 1 where after completing my track acclimatization program, Bottas kind of hit me. As I was moving over to try and actually let him past, whilst I was going to do my in-lap, he decided to hit me. There was a couple of times I noticed as I slowed down at various points to try and let cars pass that cars seemed very reluctant to want to overtake me. And as we come to the end of practice 2, I've now completed all my practice programs and got all my points, and we actually set the quickest time of the session, probably because I did the qualifying program, which is obviously going to make me very fast.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top 3. Schumacher, Grosjean and Valtteri Bottas.
My teammate managed to join me in topping the timesheet for practice 2. Nice to see Roman up there. And obviously practice 3, I'm just going to simulate it. I don't run in practice 3. I like to save the mileage. Plus it's going to rain as well, and I don't really fancy, I've got to run the race in the rain, but I don't really want to run anything else in the rain. $1,381 resource points and a little bit of an acclaim boost. Only a little bit. And we get to head into wonderful qualifying. We will change the engine back to engine 2. Apart from the ICE, which we're actually going to leave on engine 1 because it hasn't got a lot of wear. No, we are going to change it. We are. We're not going to risk it. Gearbox, we've got race 2 gearbox fitted. All is going well. Don't know whether to do any upgrades. I don't know whether to restart that failed, or whether to do the last couple of durability upgrades for the control electronics and what have you. We do want to get energy recovery system sorted out at some point. We perhaps need to go into the energy recovery side of things, because I would like a little bit more deployment, and I would like slightly better recharging and harvesting from this car. So let's go down that path. Let's go down that route. We can always restart that chassis element a little bit later on. I mean, it's only weight reduction coming from the chassis department. So let's go out then, Q1. Let's put a time on the board that gets us through Q1 into Q2. No heroics required here. Just do the lap. No strategies to consider in Q1. Run a little bit deep there. Of course, what works slightly against me is the fact that, you know, the only time I ever use the soft tyres in the race weekend is when I do the qualifying program in practice. So I've only literally done one lap on these tyres before now. In practice 1, I only run on the medium and hards. The race strategy obviously puts you on the medium tyre or the hard. So I don't have a lot of running on the soft tyres. I've done one lap, and when you strap the soft tyres on the car, it does change the balance and feel quite a bit of the car. So whereas my setup is my car setup is feels pretty good when I'm on the medium and hards, doesn't feel as nice when I'm on the softs, and that is always the case. I've said this before throughout the series, I much prefer racing on the harder tyres. So I've done my lap time. It's good enough for 6th place at the minute. Okay. I'm not in any danger of being knocked out of Q1, unlike my teammate, who is looking sadly as if he's going to get dropped. So Roman didn't qualify very well. Poor lap from Roman. Be interesting to see what happens now in real life in F1, because Perez is now obviously available and without a seat for 2021. Be interesting to see if someone like Haas comes in through, and Haas look to maybe get rid of Roman or Magnussen in real life. I've been saying for a long time those two drivers are awful, and Haas really really should be looking to get rid of those two guys. They've been nothing but problems for the team, as anyone who's watched the Netflix series will know. And I think Perez, I can't believe a team like Haas hasn't gone for Perez and Hulkenberg. You've got to think those two guys would be better for Haas than Grosjean and Magnussen. But anyway, here we are, qualifying 2. And as you can see, I'm on the yellow stripe medium tyres. Still pushing. Wow, 212 miles an hour we hit there. With the DRS wide open.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Max fuel setting and the ERS on hot lap. 212 miles an hour down that straight. That is fast. And that was actually good enough for P1. Despite the fact Lewis Hamilton was faster in both the first and second sectors, we absolutely nailed it in that last sector. And I'm guessing it's probably because of the speed, the power that the Ferrari engine puts out. Done quite well there. Danny Rick's been knocked out of Q2, so doesn't make it into the final shootout, which again means as far as our rivalry goes, I'm going to be picking up points on him, picking up points over him. Got plenty of soft tyres to use for Q3, and then I get to take a couple of extra sets into the race with me. Unfortunately, I did get a car. I did get released into traffic again. This is a little bit annoying. But I'm actually going to just take my foot off and coast. I'm going to lift and coast. Just to try and create a bit of space. I don't want to be following that car too closely. I don't want to get blocked by it. And compared to my Q1 lap, I actually seem to be a little bit better on these soft tyres in this Q3 run. Set for there where I got suckered in by the, I think it's a tracing point in front of me. And get the slipstream as well as the DRS down here. 214 miles an hour hit there, so yeah, the slipstream gave us a little bit extra. That's probably going to be enough to actually put us on pole, I would think, maybe. And it is. And we've set the fastest sector time in every session. In every one.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Schumacher, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our
So that
grid
toe
lineup
from
for the
that
big
toe
race
down the
tomorrow.
back straight from
Be
the
sure to
tracing
join us
point was
then
very
for what
helpful
will no
there.
doubt be a fantastic
Very
race.
helpful. So Perez or Stroll, whichever one you were, thank you for that great toe you gave me. Obviously, 7-point lead over Danny Rick. I'm gonna beat him, I would imagine, very easily in this rivalry. And get 900
Well done.
points.
That was a good qualifying performance.
Was indeed, Claire, Emma, Jeff, Steve, Michael, John. It's raining. So yeah, first pole position secured by Michael Schumacher. Very nice. I hope that is going to be factored in when the team comes to do my new contract. I think it's after the French Grand Prix though. I'm sure it's after France. I don't think we get to do the contract negotiations before. Might restart that now actually. We'll get that upgrade going through again. Even though the chassis morale is quite poor, the chassis department's got very poor morale at the minute because I've been obviously ripping on them a little bit in the interviews for the car being so heavy. And as I've talked about in the past, it's 32 kilos heavier than the Mercedes.
It's time once again to go racing
So
here in
we've got
Montreal,
32
the
kilos we need to get off
second-largest
this car.
French-speaking city in the world, and home since
To put it
1978
where the Mercedes
for the Canadian
starts
Grand
at.
Prix.
Obviously, as Mercedes go through the career mode, they'll be doing weight reduction and stuff. However, from looking in the game's files, I think the Mercedes only lose about 4 kilos.
Down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on a
From the
circuit
car,
within the
so whatever
drive
their
gives
car
the
starts
average lap
with, if
speeds
you
of
do
around
all the chassis
130
upgrades
miles per
in
hour.
the chassis
We'll be
R&D
lucky to
tree,
get anywhere
you're
near
only
that
going to
today.
reduce that weight by 4 kilos, which probably isn't a massive amount. But
It's not
obviously,
going to be plain
Mercedes
sailing for our drivers today,
chassis
although with a
starts
sky
off
falling
very,
as it
very
is,
good.
Perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Schumacher lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Stroll, Verstappen, Vettel, Raikkonen, and Daniel Kvyat. Ocon, Ricciardo, Alexander Albon, and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Romain Grosjean, and George Russell. Norris, they'll be starting further back after an
Why
earlier
is
grid
McLaren
penalty.
so
And Nicholas
bad?
Latifi. Now,
Why is
it's almost
McLaren
time for
so
lights
far
out,
down the
so
field?
let's go down to the track.
I don't understand that. McLaren's performance in this
After
game
the
is
points
very
finish
bad.
last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
We're going to have 38 litres of fuel. Yeah, 38 litres. Or 38 laps, should I say. I'm going to put a little bit more front aero on because obviously it's raining. We want a little bit more downforce. But here we go, folks. Lights out and away we go. Kind of tiptoeing off the line there. That's not one of my best starts. Bottas wants to have a bit of a bumper car session. But in these obviously very wet conditions, which I don't have a lot of experience running in, just need to take it a bit steady on this first lap. Bring the tyres
That's
in.
what we like to see at the start. Well done.
Get some of the standing water shifted. Also figure out where the braking points are and everything, because one thing I have kind of come to realise is that when you use the dynamic racing line like I am using to indicate corners and stuff, where it actually tells you to brake is kind of static. It doesn't really take into consideration what tyres you are using and that. So like with these wet tyres, I can afford to brake a lot later. Same with the intermediates, whereas obviously when you're on the slicks you need to brake a lot earlier because you're going a lot faster.
Energy. Use your overtake button.
So yeah, we can afford to brake a lot later into corners because we're not going anywhere near as fast in these conditions. So it's kind of adjusting to where the racing line tells you to brake and where you then actually should brake, because it does vary. And it's the same on the slicks. You can actually afford to brake a little bit, obviously when you're on the softs, brake later than when you're on the hards. So just because the racing line goes red doesn't mean you should hit the brakes. Is what I'm starting to figure out. It's a guide, it's a suggestion, but obviously you need to figure it out based on how your car's set up and what tyres you've got fitted.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
There we go. Getting plenty of running in. God, it's a bit slippy in some places though. Here comes Lewis, he's having a bit of a run. Left the door open there for him, but he couldn't get through it. At least I've got plenty of rich mix here
The
at the
rain
race
is getting
start.
lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out.
Bad corner, and again that potentially gives Lewis chance to get some ground on me. Got Leclerc back there as well. Really slow through there that time. Tiptoeing my way around that corner. That corner's a bit of a pain to try and get right. I don't seem to have enough steering lock to get around that corner. I seem to understeer there. Struggle to get round it. Here comes Lewis. Oh, we've had a bump. Lewis has tried to hit me.
Safety car.
And
No
he's out of the
overtaking.
session.
Reduce your
Lewis
pace.
made contact
Keep your
there.
delta number positive as we form up. Drop
And he's
your
took
speed.
Perez
Our
with
delta is
him.
too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So Lewis tried to put his car in a place where there wasn't room for a car. Probably lost his front wing. And then has been hit by Perez, and that's both of them out of the race. So bad decision there from the six-time world champion to try and put his car into a spot there There's no overtake. If you're going to overtake into the first corner on this circuit, you want to be on the inside.
If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to get onto the intermediates.
You're certainly not going to overtake on the outside, because that's where the racing line is. And I was on the racing line. So I'm just pleased that I haven't suffered any damage, or I haven't suffered a puncture or anything. But this game doesn't seem to have that. If a car like makes contact with you, like front wing to tyre, you don't seem to get punctures. I don't know if that's the thing Codemasters plan to ever add to the game.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
But it's looking like once again
Safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind
our
the
safety car record remains intact, because it seems like, well, it doesn't seem like, it is another race with a safety car. Oh, and Bert Mylander nearly caught me out there. I almost crashed into him. Come on, Bert. You've got to go a bit faster, dude. The safety car seems really, really slow in this year's game.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. You will be controlling the pace on the restart. Keep it steady until the safety car has reached the pit lane.
I'm going to try and slow them down into this corner here, you see. I'll back the field up, and then I'm just going to bolt for it. There we go. Using Rich Mix and ERS.
Okay, clear.
But Michael Schumacher is definitely proving he's still, you know, wet weather king in Formula 1, because we're handling these wet conditions very well. Can't quite reach 200 miles an hour down that straight without the help of ERS, which I ran out of on that lap.
Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out.
Again?
We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Car? Bottas is out of the session now. Billy Bottas is out. So that's a double DNF for Mercedes. And Also, Bottas continues his run of failing to finish a race. He hasn't done very well at all in the last couple of Grand Prix, and in fact, actually, I'm starting to think that maybe Mercedes might be thinking about replacing him as a driver, because he's not delivering the goods for the team. I mean, you've got to finish the race, and he keeps crashing.
We're coming up to the safety car now. Do not pass it. You are the leader. Follow the safety car.
Probably explains why Claire in her interviews keeps asking me about Mercedes drives and would I be looking forward to joining the Mercedes team. Because maybe there's a based on how I'm performing, maybe Mercedes have got their eye on swapping Bottas and replacing him with a 7-time world champion. You know, obviously Schumacher's driven for Mercedes in real life, so
Check
there's
your
history
MFD
there.
for a new strategy option.
No, we're going to keep on the current strategy. We're not going to pit on this lap, Jeff, for another set of wet tyres when these tyres have still got plenty of life left in them. That's a stupid strategy, Jeff. Jeff has some issues in this race, everybody. I think he has a bit of a split personality disorder, because 1 minute he tells you one thing and then the second minute he completely contradicts that. Oh, we've got another lap behind the safety car then. It's not peeled in this lap.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Got that confirmed?
No, I want to stay. Whoa! Too busy flipping responding to Jeff. I almost crashed into the safety car again. Jeff, we're not boxing this lap for a brand new set of wets. We'll stick to the original
Approaching
strategy.
the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
When I eventually come in to the pits, I want to be
Safety
going
car
on
is in this lap.
inters or
Safety
slicks.
car in this lap. You will be controlling the pace on the restart.
Okay.
Keep it steady until the safety car has reached the pit lane.
Backing everybody up a bit. However, I've got a funny feeling that most of these guys are going to dive in the pits. I don't think they're going to follow me. They are. A lot of the cars are boxing this lap for a new set of wets. That could work against them.
Roman is in the pits.
Seems very early for a stop on for another set of wet tyres.
Green flag.
Since we've had 2 safety cars, we would have saved a lot of life in these tyres, and the track's certainly still very, very wet. Now, you could effectively do the whole race on these tyres.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, copy that.
Okay, he does now actually want me to box for inters. That makes slightly more sense, Jeff. But we're not doing it this lap because cars are too close behind me. Everybody else is
I
pitting though.
definitely think we need to stay on this tyre a bit longer, but there's no question that the track is drying. We might be in a position to change soon.
So there you go. Perfect example of what I was talking about. Jeff having his split personality disorder. He's been on the radio to tell me to change strategy, in which he's offering me the intermediate tyres, and then half a lap later he comes on the radio and tells me that the wet tyre, full wets, are still the correct tyre to be on. So why have you asked me to change strategy, Jeff?
Is available on the MFD.
And here he comes again. Jeff.
Understood.
Again.
Copy that.
Pit on this lap for intermediate tyres. Okay. You know what? We're probably going to do it. Keep Schizo Jeff happy.
ETA on this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there. Complete, go now.
2.9 seconds start. That's alright.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
And although we was briefly overtaken in the pits there by Vettel, on the pit exit we are actually still in front. We are back in front. So we lost the race lead for about a second or two. Whoa, here comes the Ferrari. Everybody's on the Inters now. Mine are a bit fresher. Can't believe it's only lap 13 though. It feels like we've been in this race for ages already. It's just already feeling like a long race. Again, keep running that rich mix. Keep bringing the fuel down. I'm staying away from the wall of champions every lap. I'm not risking going out that wide. I know I'm probably a little bit slow through there compared to the AI, but I'm not flirting with the wall.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Not bad. Definitely keeping Vettel out of the DRS detection zone. Good. Not that there is DRS, of course, because it's raining. So DRS is disabled.
The track is drying, but it's going to take a while to clear the standing water off the line. Don't start thinking about slicks just yet.
I wasn't going to, Jeff, because it is definitely too wet. Yeah, we need to drop down to standard fuel now. We've pretty much burnt off all our excess. So now we'll see how fast I really am compared to the other guys, because they're obviously not going to be running rich mix like I was. So we'll now see if Vettel and Co can start to pull me back in.
Gap to teammate behind is 17.4 seconds.
Yeah, well, Grosjean's not really in this race, is he? He didn't qualify. He failed to put in a performance in qualifying, so sadly for Grosjean. A little bit too close to that wall then. Got to be careful of that. Without the aid of ERS there, I didn't get 200 miles an hour.
It looks like we'll be running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
Okay, let's wait to see if Schizo Jeff will then contradict himself in a few minutes' time. Ooh, that was close. That was close.
We're expecting you in around 2 laps, and we'll be putting you on the intermediate tyres.
Really? Not gonna be doing that, Jeff. Sorry. Sorry, Jeff. I think what we need to do, Jeff, is stay on these tyres, and then when we do eventually pit, again, it will be for the dry tyres. Do not need to run a second set of inters. These are perfectly fine.
We're leading our teammate by 21.7 seconds.
Oh, I see a Ferrari in my ring mirror. Vettel suddenly managed to take a massive amount of time out of me.
Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still on the right tyre for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
Yeah, we've still got loads of life in these tyres, Jeff. Loads of life. So we're just going to keep on these for now, Jeff.
Push now. We're boxing this lap.
No, we're not, Jeff. Definitely not, Jeff. There's a bunch of other cars, though, that are for another set of inters. That seems like a bit of a crazy decision, seeing as we're so close now to the switchover. Oh, there was contact there. All over the place as I'm trying to select my new pit strategy. Gonna go for new softs when we come in. Vettel's diving into the pits. He's coming in for another set of inters. I think they're throwing the race away by doing that, you know, because they're gonna have to pit again when the track's dry. They should just stay on these tyres. Everybody's pitting for another set of inters. What idiots. In fact, it's stopped raining now. There's no rain falling on the camera.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
So I would be seriously considering the slick tyres. In fact, we are. I'm going to box. I'm going to gamble it. I reckon with about 10 laps of the race left, I can box now for the softs, and I reckon I can go to the end. This could be a gamble on my part, putting on the slicks when everybody else has just put a fresh set of inters on. But I reckon the track's dry enough, and it's only going to get drier, so let's do it.
Release, release.
Let's do it.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
We've actually pulled out time on Vettel. You've got a 5-second gap to the Ferrari man. Or was that a 3-second gap? 4-second gap? But yeah, we're on the slicks, baby. We're not going to tiptoe round either. We're going to throw caution to the wind here and go all out. Took a little bit of front aero off, didn't I, in the pits? Pit stop. So should be a little bit less draggy now as well, which should help.
The car behind's catching you at a rate of about 2 seconds a lap.
That's an old message, Jeff. That's because I pitted. He's bound to catch me by 2 seconds when I have a 2-second pit stop. But he won't be catching me now, not while I'm on these tyres. And we're on the softs. And I think the track's dry. I think the track is dry at this point. I'm not seeing any standing water. I'm not seeing any spray coming off the tyres. I think the guys on the intermediates have screwed up. I really do.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
What?
Copy that.
He wants me to box and put on a set of inters. Stupid Jeff. Stupid Jeff. I'm not boxing for inters, Jeff. The track's dry. What an idiot. He's having a bad race today, Jeff is. Good job I've got the experience now to ignore him.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
So that means the track is officially dry. So I'm pleased I didn't follow Jeff's instructions to pit for a set of inters. Because what was that? 2 laps? And most of the field is now boxing for slick tyres. Oh, I got wrong there. Made a mistake. But I'll get away with that. Because obviously Vettel and Co are going to have to box behind me, so I'm not going to lose a lot of time. I'm not going to lose any time to them for that little error. Got nearly a 20-second lead now because of everybody pitting for the slick. So we've managed this race well. I've got the strategy right.
The car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre.
I've got the strategy perfect again. Think. I'm all over the track as I'm playing with my MFD settings. But again, I've got time. I doubt they're going to be able to make 20 seconds in 5 laps. Vettel's just posted the fastest lap. I need to take that back off him if I can. And I have done. Fastest lap to me.
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They are out of the race.
I want maximum points. So fastest lap needs to be me. With both Mercedes being out of the race, fastest lap is up for grabs. So I want that point. fastest lap of the
Good
race
job.
again.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
We've just done 2 back-to-back fastest laps.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Fast sector 3 again, purple. An ultimate lap. They've got plenty of life in the tyres. So my concerns about could I get the soft tyres to do 10 laps were not a problem. These could do probably 15 laps, I would think. Could have done 15 laps very comfortably on these tyres. So I'm pleased I boxed. I've got this strategy perfect today. Played the safety car as well. Boxed for the tyres at the correct times.
This is your
Kind of
final
been
lap,
handed the
final lap
race
of the race.
by the AI really, because they've made too many stops. They made too many pit stops really. Using 2 sets of wets, 2 sets of inters.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Oh, Vettel's just posted the fastest lap. And I'm not quick. So there's no chance of me taking the fastest lap on this last lap.
The car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
Vettel's just stolen the fastest lap point off me. You git, Seb. You git. Oh, I've gone fastest in sector 2. Don't have a lot of ERS though, sadly. And we weren't quick enough in sector 3.
That's a race win and your 2nd race win in a row. Fantastic job.
But we'll take the victory. Another great day at the office for Haas F1.
That's it then.
Gunther's very happy. Gunther Steiner's absolutely delighted with that.
A sublime victory here today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here.
So an entire Ferrari lockout of the podium. An entire Ferrari podium. 1st, 2nd and 3rd. What a result, guys. What a result.
Let's have a look then at the driver's standings.
Grosjean managed to get in the
Schumacher takes
points.
over the lead
That
of the
helped.
Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony
Man,
Davidson,
Vettel pinching
who
that,
would you rank as your
fastest
driver of
lap
the
off
day?
me.
It has to be said, Roman Grosjean
And he
certainly
was
had
half
my
a
eye
second
today.
faster
He made
than me
impressive
as
gains
well
during the race.
on
I know
that
that's not
fastest
to the
lap.
official decision, but I think they deserve some recognition on a day where both of these drivers are at the top of their game.
It's time to check out the Constructor Standings. Ferrari
We've taken
take the lead
first
at the
place
top
in
of
the
table.
Drivers'
It was also a
Championship.
strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend.
Mercedes have
Fantastic
dropped
work
down
from the
in
American
the
team to
Constructors.
move
We've moved
themselves
up to
further up
third,
the
so we've
table.
overtaken Red
Well,
Bull.
Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and
Not
we'll
a
see you
single.
for the next one.
Billy Bottas playing bumper cars at the start, and then Lewis crashed, took out Perez, then Bottas was hit by Latifi. Latifi took out Bottas, and Raikkonen suffered the mechanical failure in the Alfa Romeo. Man, what a great result from the Canada Grand Prix.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You're leading the championship. Are you happy to be there or feeling the pressure?
There's no time to get complacent. Each race is a unique challenge.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
That would be telling.
I've heard rumours that you're interested in moving to this team. Is there any truth to that?
I have no
Weather was
immediate
miserable
plans.
today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you?
These challenging conditions really separate the champions from the rest of the field. Oh, yeah.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So, yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier, it seems like Mercedes are maybe eyeing me up to replace Bottas, who's definitely not performing very well for them. But I have no plans to move teams anytime soon or leave the Ferrari camp. I have a job to do here at Haas F1, which I want to do. But I guess, as with everything in this world, money talks. And if Mercedes make me a offer I can't refuse, I won't refuse it. But my immediate plans is to make Haas F1 rock stars, like I said at the start of the Formula 1 season. We want to make this team rock stars. So we're going to have a bit of a look at getting things. Can't really do much in the way of part development at the minute because don't have a lot of research points. And although we can do some more weight reduction, kind of staying where we are for the minute, save the points. Be nice to get some more ERS. I can't believe I'm not valued higher than Roman. Roman's worth 5 million. I've got to be worth more than that. I'm leading the Drivers' Championship. But anyway, folks, be sure to come back and join me in the next race of the calendar at the France Grand Prix. So thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye for now.